Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm finally doing my Germany life updates video. I've been saying I was going to do this for a long time, but I really didn't anticipate how hard it would be moving internationally during a pandemic. So I'm finally here. February 3rd will be my 6th month here in Germany. So half anniversary, yay. I feel like it's flown by, and I also feel like it's gone really, really slowly. So thank you to everyone who wrote in questions. I have them written out here. Did ask for questions 2 months ago. So sorry guys, finally doing this. All right, so to the questions. So I think the biggest question I got was, why did I move to Germany? It's a good question. So simple answer is for a job. I work for the Department of the Army as an industrial hygienist, and I'm a civilian working for the Department of the Army. So I'm not active duty, not in the reserves. I'm a civilian. I merely serve in a support role for the Army. Okay. There was a position available here in Germany as an industrial hygienist. So I decided to apply, and I got the position, and I said yes. Long answer is I've been wanting to live overseas a really long time. I had a great opportunity, and I was really privileged to do a study abroad right after high school. I made a decision that I eventually wanted to work overseas, and that was 9 years ago, almost 10 years ago now. And I didn't think I would actually move overseas at this point in my life. I thought it would be a lot later when I was more developed in my career, but I'm really happy that I had this opportunity. So coming over here was truly a life goal of mine that I accomplished, so I'm really happy about it. One of the questions was, how much German do I know? Not much. Before I moved, I was super into watching German shows on Netflix, and I was doing Babbel, and I was trying out Duolingo, and I was really excited to learn German. And once I got here, I was like, I want to get enrolled in a German class, and I was still keeping up with the Babbel app. And not gonna lie, I had a bad experience with the class I had. The instructor just wasn't interested in teaching. She was just more interested in talking about herself, which is fine, but I wasn't there for that. I have looked into actually taking classes at a college, and I'm hoping those will be better. But I do plan on waiting until I can do an in-person class, because the last class I took was all virtual. I'm not gonna lie, that was awful. That was an awful learning environment for me. I disconnected. It was very hard to communicate between the students, so I'm waiting until I can do a real in-person class. So I look forward to that, but it's just not as high on my priority list right now. One day things will change, and I'll probably regret not studying more German at this time, and that will be a lesson I learn. Oh, so time and planning to move. This is kind of a weird question, because I interviewed for my position back in November. I received my tentative offer in January, and I thought I would have my official offer by February, and I'd be out of my apartment by the time my lease was up at the end of February, maybe March. Jokes. Jokes. That was a lie. Due to the pandemic, so my move got delayed until August. So I personally had a ton of time to prepare. I had months. So I was able to do a ton of research. One of the main things I looked for was, where should I live? I knew I would have to live off base. So I did a lot of research on the different areas in Stuttgart. I looked up where I'd be working, what the neighborhood areas looked like. I spent a lot of time working on my household items and saying, okay, what can I take with me? What should I not take with me? What should I sell? I spent a lot of time just going through everything, especially since the electrical is different here. I had to look at all of my electrical items, TV, microwave, computer electronics and say, could I buy an adapter plug? Can I buy, is this dual voltage? Like, how do I make this work in Germany? And a lot of my items I couldn't, so I ended up selling. So I did spend a lot of time selling items. I spent a lot of time getting all the paperwork and all the requirements to move my car. That was a mistake, I'm not gonna lie. Moving to Europe with an American version of a German car, no, just sell your car. Just sell your car and move. Because my Passat version is a lot longer than the Passat here in Germany. And so I've had issues finding parking. I had to have my windshield replaced, which was a mess. So I don't suggest bringing your American cars here. Just put that out there. But that was a lot of time. I ended up having to refinance my car, and yeah, it was just kind of a waste of my time. I learned though, it's fine. So another question is, do people speak English? And the answer is yes. A lot of people here do actually speak English. I was listening to How Not to Travel podcast, and they were saying that English is one of the most taught languages globally because it's used so much in business. And that made sense to me. And then it also made more sense why so many people here speak English. So when I've gone to like get my windshield replaced, I had to call several different places, ask for quotes and things like that. And it would kind of start out awkward where I'm like, ich lerne Deutsch, sprechen Sie English, you know? And they would be like, oh yeah. Or they would be like, hey, we have someone that can talk to you. And so, yeah, it's been really nice. Not stopping me from learning German, but I will say the fact that people speak English is reducing my anxiety of living here, because I would go to call someone and I'd have this like panic and fear and be like, I don't know, I can't communicate with them, this is gonna be awful, this is a disaster, what am I doing here? But then it always ends up really good, where they either have someone that does speak English, they speak English themselves, or Google Translate come through. Thank you. The number of times I've been into a grocery store and I'm like, and they're like, and they walk me over to a little thing and they're like, it's right here, and I'm like, thank you, you're the best. So shout out to Google Translate too, because saving my ass. So the hardest part of moving versus the easiest part. The hardest part has honestly been the depression, the sadness, the loneliness, the inability to go out and do anything right now. That has been the hardest part. Yeah. You know, when I moved to Portland, it was hard. You know, I hit that 3 months and it was like super homesickness, like, you know, just like sadness. But I was able to go out and do things. I was able to go to concerts. I was able to still go out and meet people. And it was really nice, and that gave me a lot of comfort. Now, I can't really meet people. I can't go out and do things. I can't travel. So I think just kind of being isolated into my very, very small community that I do have here has been the hardest part. Yeah. The easiest part was probably just like getting on the plane. I had Outlaw with me and I was really worried because I couldn't find his medication to like calm him down. And I think we traveled for a total of 24 hours from the time it took me to leave the hotel I was staying at in Portland to the hotel in Stuttgart. It was a total of 24 hours, and he did really, really well, and he did not pee anywhere, he did not throw up, so that was surprisingly the easiest part, just like getting on the plane and getting here. Everything else has not been, no. Biggest adjustment from here to there. Honestly, I know this sounds really strange, but My hardest adjustment has been living in a big place. I lived in my tiny apartment, my little tiny home, for 2.5 years, and I just really got used to that space and just everything being right there was super nice. And so when I came here, it was echoey, it was creepy. I had an extra bedroom, and I was like, what do I even do with this? And this is like one of the smallest places I could find. Literally, this is still 1,000 square feet. This is huge for me. My last place was under 400 square feet. So that has just been adjustment. I have nothing on my walls. As you can see, it is boring. It is boring. It is blank. It doesn't look homey yet. I think that's kind of what it all boils down to. Like I'm getting settled in, but my place just looks bland. It's a weird problem to have, and I'm not unhappy about it, but it is definitely the biggest adjustment, just having so much space and trying to figure out what to do with it. Just being like, what do I? An adjustment, but not a bad adjustment. At least and most favorite similarities and dissimilarities. I think the weirdest but also coolest similarity is the way Stuttgart is set up. It's like a valley, which reminds me a lot of Portland, where the rich people live at the top and then all the poor people like me live at the bottom. And it's really nice. It's got easy access to walking trails just in the city, exactly like Portland. It's super green, super just naturally beautiful, very, very scenic, which is just like Portland. So a lot of similarities in just like the geography and the landscape and the scenery. Weird, but great. Dissimilarities. I think there's like a good vegan culture here, because you go to the grocery store, and I have a small version of a large grocery store 2 blocks from my house. It's very close, and they have a good variety of like vegan meats and some vegan cheeses and things of that nature. But they don't have alternative dairy products, and so that's been kind of a weird thing. Like, they don't sell coffee, like they just don't sell coffee creamer. It's not a thing. So there's no like non-dairy coffee creamer. I can get it at the commissary on base, but coffee creamer is not a thing here. It's weird. And just other like little food things, I'm like, they must just not sell this. But, yeah, not terrible. I just adjust. Don't use creamer in my coffee anymore. Just put some sugar in it. It's easy. Most embarrassing thing. So I was at the bakery. I was at this bakery, okay? It is 2 blocks from my house. I go there all the time when I'm not doing this January challenge. I eat a lot of croissants, right? And so I go in there and I got my mask on like I'm supposed to. And I'm like, ik möchte bitte 2 croissants. And she's like, this woman just looks at me and she gives me the stink face and she goes, English? And I go, yeah, And she starts screaming. She's like, English, English. And she's like yelling at the guy next to her. And I know she's saying like, come help her. She speaks English. And I'm just like, I come in here all the time and I don't have any issues. And today, you want to act like, oh, you just can't help me. So it was really embarrassing because there's a bunch of people in the store, a bunch of people in line waiting, of course. So I had to wait for the guy to finish helping another customer so he could help me. So irritating. So she pretty much just called me out and made me feel really stupid. Another reason why I'm not motivated to learn German, not gonna lie. But yeah, that was really embarrassing. And yeah, what am I most looking forward to after COVID? Being able to meet people, being able to go outside, concerts, living, not feeling trapped in a cage, events, traveling, taking a German class. Pretty much all my life is on hold at this point, so pretty much everything I'm looking forward to. Yeah, that one's easy. All right, last one from Janine. How are you? Are you feeling supportive? How am I caring for myself? Thank you, Janine, for asking me this question. I think that this question honestly deserves its own video. Right now, in this present moment, this month has been my best mental health month. I have felt a lot less depressed. I have been, working on self-care and really focusing on doing things that make me happy, like going outside and taking a walk, doing DIY projects, reading more, playing online chess, really fun. So, I'm in a state where I'm good right now. So thank you for asking. But I do think it would be important to address a lot of the depression and anxiety and issues that I dealt with, not only but moving during COVID and the experience of the pandemic in a foreign place. So I do plan on doing a separate video for that, and I will dedicate a lot more time. But in this moment, I am doing really well. Thank you. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. If you have any questions for me, please drop them below in the comments. I do plan on doing more of these videos regularly, keeping you updated, letting you know how life is in Germany as an American. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye.